What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. If you are new to this channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share this video if you like what you see. Today I'm going to be doing a massive compacted undercoat removal, and man, was this a satisfying groom. If you know a groomer, I want you to ask them, what is the most satisfying groom? I can almost guarantee you that they will say a de-shedding bath with a compacted undercoat. Something about seeing all of that undercoat fly out brings such a sense of enjoyment and fulfillment, and you feel accomplished when you're done because they look so good afterward, and I love it. I want y'all to have the same sense of enjoyment and fulfillment when I am done with this video, so let's get straight into it. First, we're going to be starting off this video with a little bit of brushing, and forgive me y'all, I completely forgot to hit the record button, but I did want to get some of this on video. Look at how much undercoat I took off so far. There was so much left after me just brushing her out for 10 minutes. I'm using the de-shedding rake for about 10 minutes because I did not want to overuse it, because if you're overusing the de-shedding rake, it can cut into the coat and damage the coat. So I only did it for about 10 minutes, and just in 10 minutes I got so much undercoat out of her. I know 10 minutes probably may seem like a lot to y'all, but for a groomer 10 minutes is nothing. It literally flies by so fast, but just in that short time I got so much undercoat out of her. And just wait till y'all see the blowout. Oh my goodness, after the blowout, it's insane. It's really insane how much hair came out of this dog. Now, full disclaimer for this dog, the mom has never gotten her professionally groomed, and she's a little bit older. I want to say she was about 9 or 10 years old, but she was a little bit older, and the mom has never gotten her groomed before, and it showed. She had so much undercoat compacted. One of the groomers actually thought that I would have to shave the dog, but I don't like shaving double coated dogs, so I was determined not to do that, and I'm glad I didn't because she looked beautiful afterwards. I can't wait for y'all to see the finished product, but look at all of that hair coming out. When the mom picked her up, she literally said to me, I've never gotten that much hair out of her ever in her life, and I usually groom her at home. So needless to say, she was very pleased with the end results, and I know you all will be too. I didn't want to show the end results in the thumbnail like I usually do. I wanted y'all to be able to see it in the video, because just watching this is satisfying. Look at all that hair. Look at all that hair. Just watching this is so satisfying. It was just, oh, I love doing grooms like this. I love it. I love it. It's so satisfying. Now, as I stated, she is an older dog, so after her blowout, which this took about 12 minutes. I've never had a blowout where I had to blow them out for 12 minutes, but it took 12 minutes because it was so compacted in there. But after her blowout, I had to give her a break because, again, she's older, so I had to give her a break, and I gave her a break for about, I believe it was like 30 to 45 minutes, just so she can relax in the kennel and kind of take a minute and breathe, and then I pulled her back out for her bath. I tried as best I could not to get the velocity dryer like in her face or near her ears, but because she was a bit nervous because this was her first time, whenever she would move her head around, that's when the velocity dryer kind of got to her face, and it kind of freaked her out a bit, but she calmed down. Nothing where I had to discontinue services. For new groomers or new bathers that get a dog like this on their schedule, where the dog is heavily compacted and you're not sure whether you have to shave it out or whether it can be brushed out, do not bathe the dog first. Or if you're going to attempt to do a firminator or de-shedding treatment, whatever de-shedding treatment that you use, do not bathe the dog first. If you bathe a dog that is heavily compacted, all of that can turn into a mat. 9 times out of 10 it's going to blow out with just a dry blowout pre-bath. But do not wash the dog first, because it makes your job so much harder when you are trying to blow dry the dog after the bath, as well as stress the dog out more because the blowout is going to take so much longer than you just pre-blowing the coat out. I was trying to show y'all how much fur was in my face and on the towel. I keep a towel above my head when I'm doing a blowout like this because, one, I don't like all of that dog fur in my hair or on my hat because it takes forever to blow off. But I was trying to show y'all how much hair was on, but you couldn't even see it. But it was a lot. It was in my eyes, my mouth. It was just a hairy situation. I was trying to turn her around so I can blow out the other side, and somehow, look at all that hair, oh my goodness, but somehow, some way, she flipped her little self back over. I was like, what? How did you? Okay, let's just flip you back around. Yeah, she's a little contortionist. Look at her, look at her. That's what she's working on, and I didn't realize that's what she was doing until I rewatched this video. Look at her. I didn't even realize it. I don't know about y'all, but this is so fulfilling to watch. I mean, it was fulfilling to do, but this is so fulfilling to just watch it. This is just, I love this. I love stuff like this. So just real quick, while I'm working on the blowout, because you guys know I always have a topic, I do want to talk about, and I believe I talked about this in one of my old videos, but the importance of bringing your dog in for grooming. So as I stated, this dog has never been professionally groomed before in her life. Her mom usually works on her at home, which is okay if you're doing it properly. But because she wasn't doing it properly, which is no fault of her own because I'm sure she didn't know, she was heavily compacted in, which takes a little bit more time to work out, and it's more stressful to the dog, especially if they've never done anything like this before. But also, you never really know what's going on under the skin. Now, I noticed once I bathed her and then I started drying her, I did notice that some of her skin was a little irritated, and I don't think it was from the shampoo because it was all over her body in like big splotches, where I noticed some of the tighter compaction was on her. So sometimes when you're washing a dog who is compacted like this, and again, there's no fault to the owner because she did not know, but sometimes when you're washing a dog who's compacted like this, the soap and the conditioner is not getting all the way down to her skin and her coat because there's so much undercoat that is stuck there that when you are washing and scrubbing her, it's not reaching her skin. So sometimes oil can build up on the skin and cause irritation to the skin. It can cause yeast buildup on the dog. So it's really important to bring your dog in at least, and this is not what I believe, but at least once or twice a year for a deep blowout. Your dog definitely needs to come in more often than that, but if you're working on it at home, at least once or twice a year for a good blowout. Me preferably, I would say bring them in at least 4 times a year, but for the people who can't really afford to bring them in that often, once or twice a year for a good blowout and you're maintaining it at home would be good for your dog, for a dog like this too. Now when I'm doing a bath on this dog, on a dog like this that has heavy compaction and hasn't really been professionally groomed, for any of my dogs really, I like to thoroughly wet the coat so I know that the soap is coming to a nice lather and it's going to properly clean the coat and the skin. Now what I'm doing here, she's set up for a Furminator, but one of the tricks that I've learned from one of my old coworkers back at home is to mix the Chi conditioner and the Furminator conditioner if you have a dog whose coat won't blow. Now granted, her coat blew just fine, but I wanted to make sure that I got everything out, and mixing the Chi and that Furminator conditioner, it pulled everything out of her coat really well. So that's a trick for new groomers or new bathers. If you have a dog who is heavily compacted or whose coat won't blow, mix Chi and Furminator conditioner and it comes right out. Literally blows right out. You also want to let the conditioner sit on the dog for a minimum of 5 minutes, because that's how you know it's penetrating all of that undercoat that's been sitting there. So I let it sit on her for, I believe, about 10 minutes, and then I rinsed her really well. You want to rinse very well so you can get all of that product out, because if you leave any product in the dog, I've said this in my last video, it can irritate the skin and you don't want that to happen. And as you can see, even with me pre-blowing her coat out for about 11 to 12 minutes and doing a nice scrub on her with that rubber curry, she still has undercoat coming out. You can see it flying in the camera, you can see it on the wall, but that's just how much hair she had in her coat. It was so much. Now, because I did a pre-blowout and I knew she wasn't a huge fan of the dryer, I did not dry her straight through. I know it looks like it, or it will look like it at the end, but I did not dry her straight through. She was still a little damp, so I gave her a break for like another 20-25 minutes, and then I pulled her back out and put her on the drying table and finished drying her up. Now here is where I inserted the clip where I wanted to show where the red spot was on her. There was one right here, one real big spot above her shoulder blade. If you can see it, it's right in that area right there. But I wanted to insert a clip so you all can see that. Now after her pre-blowout, her bath, the conditioning process, and then blow drying her out, look how much better she looks now. Like, her coat just looks silky. It looks like a nice drop coat. Even though she's not a drop coat dog, it looks like one. She looks beautiful already before I even finished the groom. Right now I'm just finishing her up, going through and brushing all the rest of that undercoat out, whatever tangles might still be in her coat, but it really wasn't a lot. Now, I didn't do a big haircut on her because her mom did not want one. She literally just wanted a bath and a de-shedding. I personally would have trimmed her up, but I can see why the owner likes her shaggy. She's really cute shaggy. So what I did was I just neatened up her feet, cleaned up her paw pads, I clipped and ground her nails, and then I neatened up her underbelly line. And then also her tail because it looked really choppy. And guys, I want to say, even with the major de-shedding that she got, her coat was thinner, but it was still very, very thick. And that's why I was struggling with the brush, and I had to brush her so much. But now I'm going through with the comb just to find any loose tangles, any pin knots, or anything else that I may need to brush out. And I said this in my last video, the comb is your best friend. Groomers, bathers, anybody that wants to work in this industry, the comb is your best friend. It will find everything that a brush will not. Even pet parents use comb. This is just me neatening up the underline, like I said, and as you can see, I'm barely taking anything off, so it's not extremely noticeable to the owner. It doesn't look like she got a haircut because her mom likes her in a shaggy look. So I just barely took anything off. I just took, pretty much when you go to the hairstylist, you get your dead ends clipped. That's what I did for her underbelly and her tail. She was an amazing dog. For a dog that's never been groomed before, at her age, she did really well. Now, she didn't like her feet being messed with, I can tell you that. And look at that long for her. But she didn't like her feet being messed with, I can tell you that. But she did really, really well. She did really, really well. Really, really well. I had to hook her up to the groomer's helper for her nails because she kept trying to back up off the table. And that is dangerous for an older dog. For any dog really, but especially for an older dog. So I had to hook her up just to kind of keep her in place. It's amazing how much a dog changes when you put them on the groomer's helper. They just kind of stand there. She didn't really stand there, but she didn't fight me as hard, I will say that. I don't think I've ever mentioned this in another video, but I'll say it in this one. When I'm grinding nails, my biggest pet peeve is when groomers grind nails, the nail is still sharp. The whole point of grinding a dog's nail is so that you can get that sharp edge off after you clip them, but it's also to expose the quick so the quick can start to recede. For people who have dogs with extremely long quicks, if you want to get the quick to start to recede, bring your dog in once a week and get them filed. I promise you, it makes a huge difference. I've seen so many great results for people that bring in their dog once a week just for nail filing, and it got that quick all the way down, and it's like their nail doesn't even exist anymore. You don't have to keep bringing them in once a week, but bring them in enough, and then once they recede down, bring them in every 4 weeks for nails. But it makes a big difference. She's looking so good already. Already she's looking good. And now we're going to take a quick flashback to her before and what she looked like before. And boom, Look at her. Brand new dog. Look at those feet. Oh, look at her little feet. They look so cute. But this is what she looked like. This was her finish. She looked beautiful. Like I said, the mom was in love with the haircut. Well, with the services. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Drop in the comment what you want to see next, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you guys.